Hello and welcome. If you're seeing me right now, you are at the Coach's Lounge, with yours truly, Barbara J. Beckley, as your host. And I always get a big smile on my face because I love this show. This is one of my signature shows that's under my network, DFN Broadcast, which basically I created this show because of my passion for always giving visibility to others. That is just my passion and my goal because somebody told me a long time ago that I shouldn't be on video. Somebody told me a long time ago that I shouldn't be speaking. Somebody told me a long time ago I shouldn't be on this earth. Isn't that sad? Has anybody had those kind of negative thoughts to people in your mind? Even sometimes when you say it yourself? Mm-mm-mm. That's where I come in at. That's where I flip it, as I say. And I want to make sure that people are getting that love when it comes to being on video, being out there, because you have special gifts. And you know what? I never seen any really too many shows that really spotlighted like coaches and mentors and kind of, people that are helping other people to get to those gifts. So I said, you know what? Don't find it, I'll create it. That's what I did. I created this show called Coach's Lounge, and it's my love because I get to meet some very interesting, amazing, spectacular people in this world that's really helping us out. Don't ever think that you don't need somebody else to help you. Just because you don't have to have a problem or have some problems to say, okay, I need a coach. I tell a lot of people when you have mentors and coach and education in your life, it's just to help you grow more so you can really get what you need out of there. Don't do it alone. That's what I said. And information is the key. Learning is the key. We're forever, or you should be forever learning. So, with all that said, I have a wonderful, amazing, wonderful guest today. Now, usually when I have ladies come on my show, this is a royalty show, I say. So I call them queen. I today have a wonderful, amazing king. And I hope he accepts it. And if he's not, I'm going to push it. That's just me because I love to always give the, positivity in people. And when I see that you're royalty, I believe in that. And that's what we're doing today. We are going to really give this king some love, right? So Louis Swart, he basically is a seasoned, yes, business coach for coaches and he's the founder of IronBridge, a human AI powered virtual assistant company that helps coaches avoid burnout and build self-sustaining businesses. With I want to say this out loud and proud for him, over 35 years experience building and selling companies, managed more than 450 staff. Even that alone, oh my God. And top 50 finalists in the next top speaker competition. If you can't say credibility, awesome credibility, I don't know what you can say. You have nothing to say. This wonderful king is amazing. And I'm going to step out of the way because we want to really get to know him. And I want to ask you too. This is an ask because somebody told me a long time ago, you can't tell people what to do, Barbara. Because I would say that sometimes because I really wanted them to get things. So I'm like, you need to do this. And they're like, you're not getting anybody to do nothing if you tell them what to do. Just ask. Present them. So I present you to this king, and I want you to really just listen, get your pen and paper out, take some notes, because there's going to be a lot of good information he's going to give you. But the biggest thing I want you to do is listen to see if you want to work with him. That's the other piece of it. And we're going to have his information at the end like I always do, but always listen to see how can somebody help you get to that next level. And this king might be the one. So with that said, give us a few seconds with this video and we'll be right back. Coaches Lounge. Yours truly, Barbara J. Beckley, as your host. Well, 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 I'm having royalty in the house and it's global. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Louis, King Louis. So, are you okay for me to call you King sometime? I just want to get that permission.
That is beautiful. That is beautiful. Thank you very, very much.
Sending the hearts all your way, all your way. So first, before we even start, because I always like to do this, because I never have a chance sometimes when we're talking and getting into conversation, is I want to thank you for giving your time today to come on the show because you can be doing anything else, but you decided to come onto my podcast. So thank you so so much, and we're gonna get into some things. Whew, there's gonna be a lot to learn here. I need to take notes. I have look at what I have, Louis. I have. I'm ready. I'm ready. I always tell people, I say, I'm learning too, just like we all learning.
I love it. I love it.
So let's start off with this, because I love backstories. I love to hear people's backstories, how they got to where they came from. And with you having all this experience and what you're doing, give us a little just a backstory of how you got to that point.
I've been in business my whole life. I remember at 30 selling a business for 5 million, sitting in the bank and them counting out the money. I had about 200 staff working. And I remember thinking back to a business that I had when I was 25. But by the time I was 25, I had a plumbing business. I had 10 plumbers. And I went to sell it. And I said to the broker, how much can I get for this? And he said, who does the accounts? And I said, well, I do it. Because, if you want something done right, you've got to
Do it just
do it yourself. Yeah. And so I said, I do that. I do it. Who hires people? I do that. Who does quality control? I do that. And he said, Louis, your business is worth nothing because I've got to find another you. I've got to find another Louis who knows how to do plumbing, knows how to do accounting, knows how to do all these things. And he said, if there is another Louis, he's probably got his own business already. And so that was a big blow to me. But fast forward 5 years, I'd learned how to delegate. And now they were like, who does this, who does that, who does this, who does that? None of the fingers pointed at me. It was one of those. And so then I moved to Australia, and like any businessman, I've had massive fails and I've had massive wins. I've had beautiful success stories and heartbreaking failures. But in Australia, I started a couple of different businesses. The last business, I had 450 staff working for me, turning over 35 million. Should be extremely happy. Got everything that I should have,
yeah.
but I didn't feel happy. And I felt like, well, I must be broken. And so I went on this quest to try and work out, well, why was I broken? What was wrong with me, and how did I fix me? And on the quest, I actually studied NLP. I became an NLP master practitioner. I became a hypnotherapist. I became a timeline therapist, matrix therapist, constellation therapist. I studied all these modalities. And the one thing that I noticed was that all these gorgeously beautiful people who are coaches, most of them aren't making any money.
Mm.
Most of them are doing this amazing work. They're literally just pouring their hearts out to try and help other people,
Yeah.
but they're not making money.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, this is who I need to serve. How do I help these people? How do I help people that are helping people to make money? Because then I can influence more people. I can help more people if I'm helping people that are helping people. So that's kind of why I do what I do.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for helping us. As far as coaches, I just want to hug you through the screen because you are so right. I find so many of us as coaches, and I know you're a coach too, of course, that we pour our all into people. We really, because we want to see them, get to that, and we see it. Sometimes we see it before they see it, right? But then, like you said, the money, the income part of it sometimes is not all, sometimes there. And then sometimes I know I do this. I know people tell me, Barbara, you do that. I said, I over give sometime. And then I know with that, it takes more time, which I'm like, I just want to get to where they need to go. But then I don't think about, okay, this is still a business and you need to get paid. So I'm so glad that
Absolutely.
you understand that our coaches need help from you as a coach. Awesome. Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh, so I wanted, I always ask people what they would name this show if they would name it, the title of it. And you said implementation is the new information. Then I also asked you, what topics do you want to maybe talk about regarding that? And you said implementation is the new information. So I love that. I said, look at Louis. He's like, we need to get this point across. So I want to get into this one thing I know that you do. Well, I mean, you do so many other things, with that. But you are the founder of, and I hope I say it right, Iron Bridge. Is that right?
That's right. Yep, that's right.
Which now today's time, and this is why I really want to get into conversation. AI is, and I keep telling people that this is not nothing new. AI didn't just
Mm.
come a year ago or 6 months ago. This has been in for a long time. It's
Yeah.
just now getting to, I feel like, the mass of people, like maybe us, to
Yeah.
understand, work it. So I want you to kind of walk through that because you have made a virtual assistant company into regarding AI.
Thank you very much. So, the one thing that I found when I was helping coaches was that we're getting so much information and we're constantly trying to learn and constantly trying to hone our skills. And lots of times we don't have the time. We literally just don't have the time. I mean, who's got the time to be spending, 4 hours a day just on Facebook, just to try and get people in Facebook interested, and another 4 hours on LinkedIn, and then 4 hours editing your videos, and there's a whole lot of admin work and accounts and all that goes with coaching that nobody ever really tells us about when they're telling us about the coaching programs. And so I was like, well, how do I help people to do that? Because we all want to implement. We just feel like we don't have time to do it. We all go to a coaching program and we'll sit or we'll listen to this podcast and we go, oh, that's such a good point. I should do that. Oh, that's such a good point. I need to do. Oh, that's a good point. I need to do this. Oh, I need to do this. And I always say we should all over ourselves because we're like, I should do this. I should do this. I should be getting this done. I should be doing this. I should be there. I should be doing more of this. I should be changing my banner. I should be doing stuff on my profile.
Yeah.
And we just don't have time to do it. And that's where the virtual assistants come in, because in other countries people can live on a much lower rate. The cost of living is so much less than what it is in America or Australia or the UK, and so people there for $200 a week they can actually live really, really, really good lives.
Mm.
Whereas in other countries, for $200 a week, we're struggling. I mean, there's no way I could even pay my rent. I need 3 times, 4 times that just to pay rent, or a mortgage or something. Whereas,
I hear you.
and so I was like, well, how do I get these people? How do I make sure that it's super fair for them? How do I find the coaches? How do I make sure it's super fair for the coaches? And how do I put the two people together? The person who can do the work in a country where they live cheaper, and the coach who needs them. But I'm all about making it fair. It has to be completely fair for everybody. And so that's really where Iron Bridge came out of.
Wow, that's some. First of all, thank you again because I was thinking about it when you were talking about, you know, getting the help from different countries that wouldn't mind getting 200 a week because, like you said, with their how that money would be so much more for them. Is I just hired a VA just a month ago with for this podcast because it's really growing and I want to grow even more. But like you said, I was doing the following up, I was doing the editing, I was out everything. When you said a list of things, I was should have all over the place on myself. I mean, I had a list of things. I gotta do this. I should do this. I should do this. In fact, I just wrote down a minute ago. I need to change this. I should do this on a video. And I'm like, oh my god, oh my. I said, I'm not gonna get anywhere if I'm doing all this stuff. I'm not really enjoying my interviews with individuals. So I said,
Absolutely.
okay, Barbara, you need to get help. And I think that's where, and I was going to go, ask you about this too, because I know you deal with a lot of people where now their mind has to shift and say, okay, you can't keep just doing it your own. You got to shift over and bring somebody in, and not just bring somebody in, but be able to trust them. So I wanted to
Yeah.
talk a little bit about that too. Yeah.
Beautiful. So, just before we get into that, I've got a tool that people can use
Okay.
that's going to help you to be able to see if you should get a VA or not. Okay? And it's quite simple. It's actually the most simple tool out there. But before we get there, what I want to do is I want to say Do you know what your time is worth? So have you ever sat down and said, what is my time worth every hour? Okay. Now, an easy way to do this is if you went and got a job tomorrow, Barbara, and you'd probably be expected to work 40 hours a week and maybe 50 weeks a year. That's what they'd kind of expect you to work. So 40 hours a week by 50 weeks gives you a figure of 2,000 hours. So that's what your working would be. So now let's say you want to earn $100,000 in the next year. You would divide 100,000 by 2,000 hours, and that would give you a figure of $50 an hour. Okay? But now you don't want to work every hour. I mean, you're going into business for yourself because you don't want to have to work 50 weeks a year. You don't want to have to work 8 hours a day. Okay? So what we would generally do is we would double that number. So now we've got a figure, and this figure is $100 an hour. Okay? So what I want you to do is, if you're listening to this podcast, thank you so much. We super appreciate you. But I want you to write down on a post-it note, what is that figure for you? So what is that figure for you? What would that figure be? So you take how much you want to earn and you divide it by 2,000 hours, and preferably you double it.
Okay.
So I'm going to give you an example. Here's a post-it note with the figure $100 an hour. Now, this is what we're going to do. We are now going to go, okay, I need to be making $100 an hour. But you know what happens, Barbara? Life comes along, and this picture is a little bit off center. Okay, so I'm just gonna straighten it. And I get onto Canva, and then I'm on Canva an hour later, and I'm still trying to straighten this picture. Okay, and I'm going, man, what a waste, what a waste. Okay, but I say to myself, I've done a $10 an hour task, but I say, well, you know what? I saved $10 because I didn't have to pay somebody to do it. I just did it myself. Yeah? But actually, I'm meant to make $100 an hour. So I've actually lost $90 for that hour. So what that means is that the next hour that I do, I don't have to make $100. I have to make $190 because I've got to make up for that $90 I lost in the last hour.
That's good.
So this is what we do. We're going to take this post-it note that we've written our figure on, and we're going to stick it on our computer. We're going to stick it on our laptop. We're going to stick it on the monitor. We're going to stick it on the wall, somewhere super visible in your office. Super, super visible. Okay. I'll put it here for now. All right. And what I want you to do is, every time you're doing something, I want you to look up at that post-it note and go, would I pay somebody $100 an hour to edit my my background in Canva?
That's good.
And the answer, you will know, will be hell no. There's no way I'm paying somebody $100 an hour. Hell no, that's definitely not happening.
A double hell no.
And if the answer is hell no, you 100% shouldn't be doing it.
No.
You should be getting somebody else to do it. Because you can get somebody to do it for $10 an hour.
You just like oh, I love it. I love it. Oh, this is what we do to ourselves. See, that's why you coach. That's why you coach coaches, because this is what we. When you think of it like that, and I am going to get a sticky, and I am going to put it on my computer, that $100 thing. I'm going to do that because it reminds me, if I'm working on, I got to look at that sticky like you just said and say, wait a minute, you gonna pay $100 an hour to fix this Canva? See, you were all in my head, Louis, because I just did that a few days ago. I was in Canva and I was straightening out stuff, and I said I didn't say straight on the name of a person, but no, Barbara wants to be Mrs. Creative all the time and start just moving around. I look up, an hour and a half has passed. I'm like, then I'm sitting there screaming, talking about I was supposed to be doing this for something else. Whose fault is that? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mindset. Wow.
And that This will change your life. If you don't do anything else after listening to this podcast, if you just do a post-it note and put it there and then start working out what your time's worth and start taking note of where you're spending your time, it will change your life.
Yeah, well.
I've got another tool. Would you like another tool?
Well, yeah, you just blew my mind with that one. You know I want more.
Okay. So here's my next. My next one is I've coined a phrase: productive procrastination.
Mm.
So I'll tell you what productive procrastination is. Me and my credit card, we have a love-hate relationship. Okay, love using it, hate reconciling it. Okay, that I got to try and remember. In the last 3 months ago, at 1 o'clock in the morning, I spent, $47 on XYZ PDY Limited, and I'm like, I got no idea who that is. And I've got my accountant. My accountant's going, Louis, you need to reconcile this credit card because we need to pay tax. We've got to get the tax man thing. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to do my credit card. So I get to my desk, and you might recognize this. I get to my desk, and I'm like, I'm going to do my credit card. I got my credit card open, and I'm doing this. I really should do my credit card. I should do my credit card. Okay, so today I have to do my credit card. I get to my desk, and I get my computer out, and now I notice that my desk's a little bit untidy. It's actually quite a lot untidy. Okay, and so I think, you know what? Mum used to say, clean mind, clean workspace, clean mind. I'm gonna just tidy up my desk. So I start tidying up my desk, and putting all this stuff away, and this is beautiful. I put the books in the bookshelf, and now I notice the bookshelf's a little bit messy. So now I start tidying up the bookshelf, just getting that tidy. And then I see, some of the papers, when I was tidying up, some of the stuff's fallen on the floor. So I'll just quickly get the vacuum, and I'll just vacuum the car. I'll vacuum the carpet, and I vacuum the carpet. And at the end of the day, I'm going, oh man, I really should do my reconciliation tomorrow. I don't know what happened today. I was so busy, I didn't get to do it. And the reality is that it is productive to clean your desk. The reality is that it is productive to clean my bookshelf. The reality is that it is productive to vacuum the floor. Those things have to be done. But am I doing them to avoid something else?
Oh, you hit another. You hit it again. You hit it again.
Because that's when it becomes productive procrastination. We're procrastinating from what we really should be doing. Okay, if we're picking up the phone, uh, if now we know that we need to make calls to clients, we need to make calls to prospective coaching clients. But we go, oh, there's a training on, and I'm going to learn more in the training. I'm actually going to just attend this training because that's going to help me in the long term. I've got to know this stuff. So I go in and attend the training, but I don't make the calls to the coaching clients. And then the business falls over, and I'm like, I don't know why it fell over. I was working so hard. I was so busy, and yet the thing still didn't work. And unfortunately, this is what a lot of people do. They'll listen to this podcast, they'll listen to the next one, they'll go and watch some YouTube videos, but they won't implement any of the stuff that they're learning.
Yeah.
So they'll leave this, and it's great. Thank you so much. We love having you here. But this is really just, if you get information and you take no action or no implementation, you literally have just got entertainment. We've literally just entertained you. And you're super entertaining, Barbara. So, I can see how people would want to just be entertained by you for half an hour, right? But if that's all you've done, that's incredible. But you haven't actually you haven't actually progressed your business forward.
No, no. And I never heard of it like that, where production procrastination. That even so, it kind of gives you a warm, fuzzy feeling with the production of it, right? But then the
Yeah,
procrastination part is the other side of it. Like, okay, yeah, like you just said, you did the desk, you did the carpet, you did that, but you didn't get done what you were supposed to get done because you were
absolutely.
avoiding that part. And oh, that is so true. And how many times have well, I know me, and other people out there that's listening have avoided something they really know they had to do, but they didn't want to really do it, so they found everything else they could be doing. and then it never gets done. I
Absolutely.
had something, Louis. See, this is really helping me out. I know it's helping a lot of people. Where I put something off for a whole month, and I just kept finding production procrastination to do, and it got to the point where I got in trouble. And you don't want to get to that point. That's time. That's like another alarm in your mind to say, okay, you waited all this time, and now look what happened. Now you got to
Yeah.
deal with something else, which maybe you'd have to deal with that if you would have got it done in the first place.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you know, if you think about that one thing, we know what that one thing is. All of us know what that one thing is. I did a coaching call a couple of weeks ago, and the lady said to me, "Louis, I don't think I've got I don't think I've got one thing. I don't think I've got one thing that I should be focusing on." And I said, "Tell me what you really don't like doing." And she said, "Louis, you know what? I love helping people, but when I invoice them, it feels icky to me. I don't like invoicing them, okay, because I feel like I'm asking them for money, and I feel like I should just be giving them my services." And she said, and I've got bills that are piling up and I can't pay them. And I haven't invoiced people for she said, I've got coaching clients. I haven't invoiced them for 2 months.
Mm.
And I said, well, that is the one thing. That is the one thing that you need to be doing. But she was finding all these other things to do around it because that thing made her feel a bit weird. She didn't like it.
Mm.
So, what's that one thing that you know you should be doing today?
Mm-hmm. That's a question
Just
to
get it
ask.
done.
Did we say, what is that, Louis? I like how you make it so easy when you say it. Just get it done. I mean, it's so simple, right? It's like this is not science, it's like a rocket science type of thing that people say. It's like just get it done. And because sometimes what I have to do, Louis, is when I have to really get some, I mean, like you said, get it done. When I find myself going those different routes, like you just said that you did, and I
Yep,
have to say,
yep.
okay, Barbara, what does that have to do with what you got to get done here? I gotta like talk to myself back to what I'm
Mm,
supposed to be doing. That's how much sometimes it's difficult because I'm like, I really don't
yeah,
feel it, but I knew I had to do it. And then I start doing something like, what, Barbara, here, right here, you need to be doing this. So, oh, I love
absolutely.
it. I love it. I love it. So, what would you, I mean, this for, well, two things I want to ask you. Because I've been asking a lot of people about leadership lately. I've been noticing and everybody has their own different ways of what they see leadership looks like.
Yep.
There's the dictionary, explanation of it, and then there's everybody else explanation of it. So, what do you see when it comes to leadership in what you do?
I think that we're in an era now when people still have the old belief that if somebody's at their desk, they're working. And yet that's not true. You know, more and more we want to look at how do we give somebody a project? How do we give them a task and a deadline for that task? And then if they finish that task on the deadline, then that's acceptable. You know, we know that they're working. And especially when it comes to remote staff. When it comes to remote staff, you can put tracking stuff on their software, you can put tracking things on their computer, and there's a whole lot of stuff you can try and do to try and get them to work. But really, if they feel like they're part of your team, if they feel like they're part of your mission, if they know what your mission is, if they all know, hey, this is why Barbara's doing this, and this is how it's going to help the world, they literally all want to help you. And then give them projects and say, this is what you need to do, this is what you need to do, this is what you need to do. And then once they've got all those things that they've got to do, it makes it easier for them. Makes it easier for them to actually help you and actually accomplish those things. And it also helps you to be able to look, because the two things why we don't normally give people work is because of the trust and the control.
Mm, hmm.
And so, by us giving them a small task to do, them doing it correctly, giving it back to us, we go, okay, they did that really well. We give them a bigger task and a bigger task until eventually they're doing really substantial tasks for us. Um, but it all starts with us giving them the smaller tasks and seeing how they go with it. The other thing that's really important is, do you have, so for you, Barbara, for example, do you have an onboarding checklist? So I'm going to come into your podcast. Do you have a checklist that your VA can say, okay, so this person's going to be a guest on Barbara's podcast. Have I got his bio? Have I got Have I got the profile picture? Have I got this? Have I spoken to him? Does he know how to download StreamYard, etc., etc., etc.? Do you have a checklist like that that your VA goes, you go, hey, I've got a new guest, and they go, okay, there's a new guest, and they go, okay, these are all the things that the new guest has to do so that we know that it's going to be good. We need one for the guest when they come onto your podcast, but also when they finished your podcast. What's your offboarding checklist? What does that look like? How long before you reach out to them? How long before you know, see, tell them about other opportunities that you've got? How do you put them into some sort of community where you can actually give them value ongoing so that you stay kind of in their network? What does that look like? The more you can have SOPs or checklists or something for that, the easier it is for you to actually hire people to help you, because they just go off that. They go, okay, this is what we need to do, follow these steps, and they can do it. And it makes it easy for us to do AI as well. It's easier for us to put AI in if we know exactly what the steps are. We tell AI what those steps are, and it just follows those steps.
Yeah, love it, love it. Now, I want to give you some time on the screen just to give any lasting thoughts. But before we get to that point, and you did mention AI, because I want to make sure, because this is to me really important too, before we continue, is that a lot of people, and I bring this out, I just said it really earlier, that AI wasn't something that just poofed, it was there now. It's been there for a while, and a lot of people have different thinking on it. As you probably know, some people are grasping on it, saying, "Oh my God, this is wonderful, it's saving me time. This and that. I can do I can have it think for me on some things I want to do in my business, and the list goes on." Other side, it's gonna take my job. It's gonna take everything. Oh my God, what we're gonna do? So you being this expert in this area, what is your thoughts on that, and what can you tell the audience to make them kind of think in certain ways?
Imagine if we were all monks. We were all monks now. We go back to the, I don't know, 16th, 14th century, whatever. And we're all monks. And we're in the monasteries and the nunneries. And they've given us a quill and an ink pot. And we're writing the pages of the Bible, okay? We're writing the page of the Bible. And it's amazing. We write the page of the Bible, and it takes us a whole week just to write the page, but it's done with absolute love and dedication, and it's taken us forever to learn how to do that. And then this guy comes along, Gutenberg, and he's like, hey, Barbara, let me show you how to do this. Click, 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 click. Barbara, here's 20 pages of the Bible. And you would be like, whoa, this is the devil's stuff. This is terrible. There's no love gone into that. This is not going to last. People aren't going to want this, like this mass-produced thing. They're going to want the handwritten one. But thank goodness, we've got billions of Bibles because of that process. So that was a tool, and that tool did take some jobs. Those monks that were writing the stuff by hand, it took that role from them of writing it by hand to them now being able to distribute Bibles, or maybe do binding of the Bibles, or maybe doing printing of the Bibles, or it gave them different roles to do. So this is a tool. So you've got to think to yourself, AI is definitely not going to take your job, but somebody using AI is definitely going to take your job. Because imagine if you were still writing the Bible by hand, each page, and the next person was doing it with a printing press. You couldn't compete. If you were delivering parcels door to door on horseback, okay, could you compete with UPS?
No, or Amazon, no.
Or Amazon? 100%. 100%. And we look at it and we go, that's crazy. Like, that's such a silly example. And that's exactly what AI is doing. AI is allowing us to make content. AI is allowing us to take our message and really just tweak it and make it really, really cool and put it out to the world.
Yes. Love it. Thank you. That was the best explanation I ever heard since AI has been, like, people are just all over the place on AI. You just explained it so well. So well. In fact, I'm going to clip this part and just put it out there to everybody. and say, okay, you want to know about AI? Let Louis tell you. I'm telling you. Wow. So let me give you some time. I want to give you just a little time to any lasting thoughts, and then we'll let people know how to contact you. I'll be right back.
Awesome. Awesome. So, what I really want to talk to you about is how much stuff are you implementing in your day? What are you actually doing? How much information are you taking in? And how much stuff are you implementing of that information? And I remember going to school, and I went to school and they said, you've got to remember, you need to know what's the capital of China. And I didn't know the capital, and I got smacked on my hand. And then, that went on and on and on until eventually I knew the capital of China. And so lots of us think we have to know all the information. Whereas now we need to know how to filter the information. But even more important than filtering it is we've got to know how we can actually get that information and implement it. So every podcast you listen to, every meeting you go to, every new training you do, every YouTube video you watch, take one thing. Just take one thing out of there that you can actually implement. What's one thing that you can actually put into your world? And for today's one, the post-it note is that one thing. Put this post-it note. It's such a simple tool, and this is actually going to change your life. And as you go along, this figure's going to grow. This figure's going to start off maybe at $50, and it'll become $100, and then $200. And eventually you'll be looking at this figure, and it'll be, in the thousands of dollars. And you'll be looking up and saying, would I pay somebody $1,000 to do my Canva? Definitely not. And you'll get clearer on what you should be doing and shouldn't be doing. So that's my message for today. Please implement. Implement one thing. Get a post-it note. I'd love to see a picture of your post-it note stuck somewhere on your computer, on your wall, in your wherever. And implement, implement, implement.
Implement. And that, you know what? We started off with that, and we're ending with that, and that's a good beginning and end to it, because no matter what, implement. And you know what? Don't be scared to do it. Don't have the fear of it. Just like Louis said, this is something that's going to even make you even more, of what you're trying to do in any area of your life. It just increases even more. So it's not so much, I'm glad, like you said, Louis, it's not taken away from you. It's adding. It's adding. Yeah. Oh,
Absolutely.
oh my gosh.
Absolutely.
I enjoyed this. We have to bring you back. We want to come back. Please, you are family now. You're always welcome to the Coaches Lounge. Always would love
Thank
to
you
be
so
glad to have
much,
a
Barbara.
conversation with you.
This
So
has
with
been
that,
incredible.
yeah, this has been awesome. I couldn't wait for this interview. I'm just being honest, especially what you do and everything, because I know people need to hear this. So I always tell you, when you're aware of something, now that you have an awareness of it, I'm gonna say it. They're gonna get upset at me, Louis. Now you can take accountability because you know now. See, I don't get up when people say they don't know, Louis. I'm like, okay, you don't know, but then when somebody tells you or explains something, I can't let you get away anymore. Now you know from
True.
Louis.
Very true. Very true.
I just this is joy. So with that said, everybody, again, this has been the Coaches Lounge. Yours truly, Barbara J. Beckley is your host, and the wonderful King Louis here. That basically gave us a lesson, some big lessons. So if you haven't watched this live, which it will be airing, it's just a replay, so you could always look at it over and over and over again. That's what I love about it. We always keep it out there so people can watch, learn, and grow. And saying that, always remember you're always growing. Always give your gifts out there that you have. We all have our uniqueness in us, but it's okay. It's okay to get another person to help you build that uniqueness into a higher level. And that's why I talk about coaches, and that's where we come from to help you. With that said, we will see you at the next Coaches Lounge, and you take care.